Hello guys, we are here for Shadow Slave chapter 2961, I think. Let me change that right now. Not this, yes. 2961. Yes. We are on the chapter 2961, and I have said it in my first video of LOTM that I will not be covering the rest of almost. We are almost at 3000 chapters. I cannot cover from the very first chapter up to here, but I can continue from here onwards. So we have chapter 2961, and let's start reading chapter 2961, which is light as a feather. And for briefing, let me tell you where we are. Sunny and Nefis and Anke were fighting while thieving word while uh, they gave Anke aspectability, helped weaken while thieving word, while Sunny also added his own curse to the VTB, and Nefis told VTB to die. It was a very iconic moment. Lost from night, I command you to die. So, and then they were battling, and VTB was burning, and he was aiming for the waters, and Sunny, VTB, and Nefis, or I don't remember if Nefis was there, but Sunny or VTB, at least they both crashed into the water and were thrown up across time. So that's the gist of it, and looks like there is another POV change. G3, why do you do? But this time I hated the rest of the POV changes, but this time very excited because uh, moderate, uh, as or as some people say, Pumdred was trying to apostasis and reach supreme, no, reach sacred rank. So let's read chapter 2961, light as a feather. As a cold wind rose from the ebony tower, Cassie backed away until her back pressed against the dark stone. There was a somber expression on her bloody face, making it look even paler than before. Her blindfold had slipped, revealing her beautiful blue eye, and the gaping chasm where the other one should have been. As well, he's mad. Out there in front of her, Mordred was shattering his reflections. He had already consumed a great legion of his vessels, absorbing the splintered fragment of his peculiar soul. Millions of them. Some were minuscule, some powerful enough to inhabit the stolen bodies of saints and titans. Because of that, his already impossible vast soul had swelled to a truly unfathomable extent, becoming as bottomless as the storm sea. And now he was absorbing the soul core of his reflection, had nurtured too. Cassie saw it in his runes. This is going to be interesting. Rank Supreme, Class Titan, Soul Cores 7 out of 7. 9 out of 7, first time in the history. 13 out of 7, 16 out of 7, 21 out of 7. I mean, it's crazy. I think Moderate is going to reach or become spirit before Sunny or Nephis. And more. It was pure madness. The souls of humans were not meant to withstand more than one soul core. The strain of supporting just one was already all they could handle. Creatures were different, capable of evolving to higher classes. But even then, 7 was their limit. There was no reason for that other than that the world was created that way. Number 7 possessed mystical powers after all, because that was the number of gods. 7 divinities had been born from the flame of desire, and so number 7 echoed across all existence. No soul could accommodate more than 7 soul cores. Just like no triangle could possess 4 corners, it was simply the law of existence. Those who attempted to break it perished when their soul collapsed under their own weight. Even now, the weight of Mordred's soul could be felt in the great hall of Ebony Tower. It had become so crushed that there was meant to be purely metaphysical was what it was so crushing that what was meant to be purely metaphysical was manifesting on the physical plane. The winds were howling, the furniture surrounding them was buckling, its shattered debris it, sorry its shattered debris sliding slowly across the trembling floor. I'm very excited for this chapter. Myriad small atoms were rising into the air, levitating above the black obsidian as if overcome by weightlessness. And all the while the abandoned island was quaking because of whatever was happening outside of the tower, where Astorian was making his way through the mist. He lost his mind. Mordred had to have gone insane to attempt this desperate gamble, but then again, a cold shiver ran down Cassie's spine, caused by apprehension or perhaps awe. Perhaps he did had he. What? I'm very excited. I'm fumbling all over the place. Perhaps he had not. The skeleton Nephis had found in Ariel's cell, Eurus of the Nine, had told Sunny that using brute force to achieve apostasis was impossible, but Mordred was a unique being, and therefore his path to godhood could very well turn out to be uniquely bizarre. None of them knew much about apostasis, but as far as Cassie understood it, two requirements had to be met in order to attempt it. First, one's soul had to be as vast and endlessly deep as that of a spirit. Secondly, their consciousness had to shed the shell of humanity and be reborn as the mind of a deity. And Mordred had a way to cheat at least one of those requirements. His ability to create reflections as well as splinter fragments of his soul to inhabit myriad vessels gave him a unique aptitude for swiftly expanding the depths of his soul. All he had to do was absorb his creation back into himself. At the same time, Mordred's claim to humanity had always been tenacious, and his mind only became more inhuman after he shattered it into a million pieces, all the while managing to maintain his sense of self despite that splintered, broken state. So, if someone could remain whole while attempting aphostasis too early, woefully unprepared, it was him. That was an exception to every rule, after all. Kahanak had uh, Kahanak had wanted to consume his kingdom to fuel his ascent to godhood. So did Asterion. Mordred, however, was consuming himself. So there was no telling whether he would succeed or fail. If he did succeed, there was no telling what would happen. Cassie's thought raced. If the spirit of nothing was born on the Ebony Island, the Dreamstone would most likely cease to be a problem. There had not been a bright future for humanity, though. Quite the contrary. In fact, Mordred had already been planning to wipe humanity out to destroy Astarion's domain, and his intentions were unlikely to change even if he became sacred. Sunny and Nephis had left to find a way to defeat the Dreamspawn. Now there was a possibility, however small, that they would return to enter a battle against a sacred titan. भाई साहब तब तो भाई दिक्कत हो जाएगी अब, क्योंकि पहली बात तो cursed and sacred are, one is a part of ascension and the other is falling to profanity. So they are barely handling a cursed terror. How are they able to handle a sacred titan, and that of a divine rank, that of a divine aspect, and moderate? That will be very difficult. Okay, would return to enter a battle against a sacred titan, moderate of nowhere. Instead, should I stop him? Cassie gripped the hilt of her dagger so tightly that her fingers turned white. Usually, she would have had no chance to harm Mordred. However, he was in the middle of a perilous evolution at the moment, barely holding himself from coming undone. and he had destroyed all his other vessels as well. The only body he had left was his original one, and that body had been battered and broken in the clash against Asterion. Of course, Mordred was functionally immortal. Cassie had no way of destroying his reflection, so she could not kill him by driving her stiletto into his heart. She would not have been able to kill him in normal circumstances, but at the moment he was attempting apostasis. So if she pierced his heart now, apostasis was going to kill him instead. Cassie remained motionless for a few long, arduous moments, and then took a tentative step forward. Then she took another, but after that she stopped. In front of her, Mordred was observing the last reflection, that reflection of her, and groaned, swaying lightly. Cassie lowered her head and took a small breath. No, no, I don't want. She was tired of betrayal. She was tired of broken promises and calculated lies, of claiming that the end did not justify the means, all the while acting as if it did. She did not know whether Mordred would succeed in becoming a god or not. She did not know whether he would choose to destroy humanity or not. Knowledge was the heaviest thing in the world, and at the moment Cassie felt as light as a feather. So she entrusted herself to not knowing and remained where she stood, her dagger pointed at the obsidian floor. With the last of the reflection gone, she was blind once again. Surrounded by darkness, all she could see was Mordred's ruins, and so she could imagine what was happening in his soul, as if she saw it. The misty expanse of his mirror and dozens of brilliant suns were covered by cracks. The somber sky just surrounded them, slowly being devoured by deep fractures. The clouds that obscured the broken sky were in the throes of a howling storm, and the vast expanse of swirling mist below was in turmoil, torn apart by howling winds. Mordred's soul was coming undone. The cores that were destroying it were breaking apart too. In the end, the myriad cores broke first. They shattered, exploding into millions of radiant shards. And under the pressure of his inhuman will, those shards were pulled towards a single point, the eye of the storm, slowly forming one enormous radiant spear. And that's it. That was a very quick read through, I guess. Ooh, that was intense. If I were to say my theory, I thought that Cassie was going to become supreme and unlock her ability to, you know, basically mass edit the memory of Asterion out of everyone's mind, and then we will be safe, and Sunny and Nephis will come back stronger, if not sacred, if not spirit, and it will all be happy because but I don't think that's the case. But it's still, Cassie has to evolve into Supreme no matter what. I mean, it was hinted way before, few hundred chapters before. Cassie was, uh, s- searching for memory fragments and such in that state, regaining herself. And I think that is the last act of defiance. She needs to become supreme, a defiance against something, defiance that she regained herself. That will be the act of defiance. And uh, they a few chapters before also hinted Effie becoming a supreme if possible, because she was so hungry, she was tired, so she ate herself to set herself free. So that could also mean an act of defiance, I think so. And Jet is on another level. Outskirt rats are on another level, man. Broken sword, sunless, Jet, Soul Ripper is on another level. She escaped Asterion, got to Forgotten Shore, then got across the Hollow Mountains, the wide range of mountains, got across the Hollow Mountains, then the icy hell, and then return to Ravenheart and free Kai from his shackles. I think let's see what's going to happen. I will read the next chapter, and thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video, please do like and subscribe, and watch all the other videos. Yeah, I'm sure if you like this video, you will like them as well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.